Welcome seekers, you have made it to the Tarot Magicians channel. My name is Ricky and today I bring you a message from Spirit. This is an important message that Spirit has for you. It is going to be concerning your home life, love, spirituality, your career, finances, pretty much every area. We're going to cover every single area. And in front of you, we have three groups. Okay, three groups. We have one archangel and two saints. So it's up to you to decide the group that calls to you the most. If you're new to pick a cards, every single group has a distinct message, right? A distinct message for you. So you must intuitively pick the group that calls to you the most. And I am going to include the timestamps in the description so that you can fast forward to your groups. Here we have group number one. This is Baba Yaga. This is the witch, the wise and the wild woman. For group number two, we have Mary Magdalene, number 19. This is a representation of the sacred sexuality and the divine feminine. Okay. And then for group number three, we have an archangel, Archangel Azrael. This is the archangel of life and changes, okay, death and rebirth. So we have here three groups. Go ahead and pick the group that calls to you the most. Again, I'm going to include the timestamps below. Spirit has a distinct message for you. So if you're drawn to more than one group, make sure that you go to the group that calls to you first and then the one that calls to you second. Thank you, and I'll see you there. Welcome group number one. So you picked Baba Yaga, the witch of the wild women. So very interesting. Now, the message of Baba Yaga is reclaim your divine power, work with both shadow and light, follow your own wild and wonderful path. You know, Baba Yaga is known in Slavic myths as this terrifying old witch who ate people. But in spiritual circles, we understand the duality of her nature. And so, you know, there's a sense of reaching a place where, you know, you are no longer in some ways controlled by that darkness, but now you can integrate that shadow into the aspects of life. And so, in love and relationships, we're going to go ahead and start. I did promise you that we were going to touch every area. So the message of Baba Yaga for love and relationships is to connect with older people in your life and also to listen to their wisdom. Connect with those younger and share your wisdom. Okay, so connect with the old, make sure that you are taking from them, make sure that you're connecting with the young and sharing your experiences, your wisdom. When it comes to work, no matter what job you have, even if you land your dream job, there will always be parts of it you don't like. So don't dwell on the parts you don't love. The quicker they are done, the quicker you can get on with the parts of your work you do enjoy. Now, when it comes to your home life, create a home you love and don't worry about trying to impress others. If you are comfortable, that is all that matters, okay? So Spirit is trying to really just bring that comfort level to you. I think that maybe some of you are just too worried about your home, how it looks. You want to have it pretty for other people, but really comfort is all that matters. When it comes to matters of money, Spirit pretty much says that money is just an energy and can be used for good and bad. It's what you do with it that changes its energy. So, you know, you can spend money in positive ways to help yourself and others, or you can spend money on your vices and on things that are bad for you. You get to decide, right? So we have a message from Baba Yaga and we have a message from Spirit here of making sure to spend your money wisely, not on frivolous things and vices. And then for your well-being, you're being asked to embrace your wild side from Spirit, okay? This can mean to go camping, right? Go out dancing. Maybe grow out your hair. Grow out grow out your hair and maybe even do something wild outside in the night, right? Howl to the moon if you need to. Do something to express and honor the wild within. Now, when it comes to spirituality, it's important to understand and connect with your shadow side, right? This can bring deep healing. Bringing your shadow out into the light can help you to find more peace and freedom. Your shadow is not bad. It just is. So, meditate with your shadow and ask it what needs to be seen and acknowledged at this time. All right. So now that we know the message from Baba Yaga, all right, that you yourself picked, we're going to go ahead and zoom out and we're going to throw some tarot. All right. We are going to throw some tarot. We're going to use the guardian angels messages. I've used these before in readings. We're going to do it again. I really like them. And we are going to do a past, present, future spread. I've fallen in love with those spreads because they give so much information. My goodness, I love that spread. So we're going to go ahead and do a past, present, future. What you are leaving behind, or what was your reality, where you are right now energetically, and what is to come if you remain there. We're also going to try and get some advice from the oracles. All right, so let's go ahead and utilize the tarot. In your past, what do we have? Tarot. Wow. In your present. Wow. Okay, what's coming? What's in the future? All right. Well, we've got some pretty intense messages here. Very intense messages, absolutely. So I'm just connecting with the tarot cards at this moment. Just allow me a quick moment to do just that. Okay. Wow. So, in the past, we'll start there. You had a very rocky existence, okay? There's definitely an understanding that things weren't as ideal as they should, right? So we've got here the Two of Earth reversed, talking about balance, talking about prioritizations, playfulness. Let's take a closer look at the card. And the Two of Earth, which is the Two of Pentacles, it's the card of balance in your life. Now, the fact that we've got a child here, the fact that we've got this almost youthful energy, tells me that this is when you were very young. So you didn't have a very good balance, Maybe you weren't prioritized, you weren't given the love that you should have. And so what that led to was you having to grow up a little quicker, right? One of the key words there is playfulness. You didn't have that. You didn't have that much play. I think things maybe seemed a bit rocky. I don't know if maybe things were a bit serious in your environment, maybe a parent. We definitely do see this male energy here showing up, this king of water, this divine male presence, talking about potentially someone who unfortunately was not very compassionate or understanding or trustworthy, right? This person hurt you emotionally. They really did, I think, a number on you. They really maybe expected too much from you, maybe harmed you in some capacity. The King of Water reverse is definitely someone who potentially just broke your heart, quite literally. And, you've had trouble healing from that, right? It's very hard to heal. It's very hard to trust again. It's very hard to be complete again when you know that that there's evil out there, that you have to be careful. If not, people are going to harm you. So maybe you have some trust issues that have developed because of this, right? And so we have that. We have this illustration here of a rough childhood, possibly. That rough childhood, it was because of a lack of structure and a lack of care and a lack of attention. Children, young people, they need a lot of attention. They need a lot of love, right? They need someone there. And if they're not given that attention, they can literally die. This is something that doesn't get talked about all that often. But when children don't get the attention that they need from adults, the care, they can literally die. From lack of attention. And so potentially there, obviously you didn't die, but it was bad enough for you to develop some kind of unbalancing traits. Okay, and it's kind of leading to you not being as friendly with people, maybe potentially not being as loving or compassionate, maybe a little, cold-hearted in some ways. And I feel like that comes from that upbringing. Okay, that comes from that upbringing. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means that when you were very young, you weren't really taught the value of connections. You didn't have that trust, right? So it's very difficult to overcome that. It's very difficult to move forward when this has been your experience. And now, for some people, that's what went on. Obviously, take what resonates, leave the rest. For others, this can be talking about a relationship, maybe in the not too distant past, or when you were much younger. But this King of Water can very much be someone that you were in a relationship with, broke your heart, was very uncompassionate, unloving, in every possible way, and left you in a place where your whole world was turned upside down, quite literally. So we move to the present. Now in the present we have the Eight of Fire and we've got the Chariot, which is a very interesting combination, because what we have here is essentially an energy of wanting to move forward victoriously, wanting to move forward in this kind of dynamic energy, right? With the Chariot, willpower, victory, recognition. We see the keywords down there, but more than those words, what we have is a determination for success. What we have is forward-moving momentum that can't be stopped or halted in any kind of capacity. We have someone who's willing to do anything possible to be victorious. And, that goes into direct conflict with your other card, the Eight of Fire. Now, obviously, the major arcana takes precedence, but this is something that needs to be discussed, right? The Eight of Fire, which is also activity, speed, multitasking, reversed. And so what we have here is almost an inability to want to move forward, to want to do things. It's like there's an internal struggle, right? Now, obviously, the Chariot takes precedence, as I've said. So this energy is in some ways crippling. And it comes from the past, which is why we have this closer to your past than the Chariot is to the future, right? So the Eight of Fire coming from the past, that's kind of the energy that you are bringing forward into the here and now. And so I think that Spirit wants to bring to light that energy, right? That energy that tells you that tells you to stop, that energy that tells you to move with haste, or that energy that tells you to multitask, do more, get more done. I think that in some ways you're being held back because you're scared of setbacks. You're scared of failure. There's a fear of failure. Maybe there's a fear of what's to come, what needs to be done. Maybe in order for you to get to that next level, you have to build relationships and you're having trouble doing that, right? So there's a lot of things that, really are showing us that this Chariot energy isn't complete. It isn't full. It isn't whole, because you still have something from your past holding you back with the Eight of Fire. And so, if there's any advice that I'm seeing here, is to give in to the Chariot. Let the Chariot take you. Let that victory and let that energy just ride, We see here an illustration of an angel-like figure. She is just with her arms open wide, enjoying and basking in the energy of the sun. She is free completely. There is nothing holding her back. She is just letting this powerful Chariot combination just drive her forward diligently, powerfully. She's not hesitating in any form. So, I feel like there is definitely a lot of growth that's available to you right here, right now. But you have to get out of your own way, right? You have to, in some ways, acknowledge that when you feel down, because this is almost a sapping of energy. Right, that's what the Eight of Fire shows us, a sapping of energy. It's you trying to shoot for the greatest good for yourself, for your victory, for your success, and then something stopping you. So whenever you feel that kind of low energy, understand that it comes from your past. It comes from some kind of pain and trauma. And so potentially, you are being asked to examine that. Where did that come from? How is that impacting you now? And trying to get ahead of it, right? The point is here that Spirit wants you to keep moving forward, wants you to keep working on your projects, wants you to keep getting after it so that you can have success. And we move to the future. And now these two cards are in some ways, they're a bit concerning, right? We've got the Ace of Earth reverse, we've got the Page of Air reverse, so we've got two cards that tell us that if you continue with the energies that you're with right now, the outlook is not great, right? So this is very much a warning from Spirit, right? It's a warning for you to just energetically try and get it under control, right? And so we know exactly what the problem here is now. We know that it's this desire to want to do things, to want to rise above, but all of these other things bringing you down energetically. And so, we look at the future. What's going to happen if you continue with this energy? Well, we start with the Ace of Earth, right? Here we have abundance, opportunity, and resources. The fact that it's reversed tells me that potentially the future is devoid of that. And so why is it devoid of those opportunities, that abundance, that prosperity, and those resources? Well, the only explanation is the Eight of Earth, your current energies that you are bringing from that past, right? And so these current energies are in some ways holding you back. So don't do anything that's out of fear. It's like sometimes we settle, sometimes we just try and avoid conflict or try and avoid certain situations because there's a fear there. And I think that fear in some ways is holding you back from doing the things that you want to do, from accomplishing the things that you want to do. So don't let it. Move forward diligently. If you're receiving messages and you feel energetically very strong, intuitively, that this is the path that I need to take, then go ahead and do it. And whenever that doubt comes in and says, no, you need to stop right now, right? You need to halt that voice immediately. That's not the voice that wants to help you. That's the voice that wants to keep you there. That's the voice from your past coming now to haunt you. So understand, Ace of Earth upright is what you want. You want abundance, you want opportunities, you want resources in your life. The only way to get that is to acknowledge the present. And somehow we'll be able to reverse this Ace of Earth. And then the other thing that I'm seeing here, right? We've got the Page of Air reverse. This is the card of truthfulness, analytical, outspokenness, right? The fact that it's reversed tells us that in a future, you might be completely devoid of these things. So you might be someone who just accepts the things that happen to them, right? You just accept the reality that's presented. You just accept that your boss treats you that way. You just accept that your situation is not going to change. You just accept, right? And Spirit is pretty much telling you, you didn't come to accept, you've come to lead. You've come to speak the truth. You've come to let people know what you want, how you want it, when you want it, and you're not here to settle for anything. And so I feel like in some capacity, it's going to get to the point where if you aren't moving forward and intuitively doing what you want to do and how you want to do it, you're going to just become a bit of a pushover. And that's not what you want, right? You don't want that. Energetically, you're in a very good place right now. That's what Spirit is trying to tell you here. Energetically, you're in a good place, but there's a struggle. There's an internal struggle within you, okay? And for right now, that part of you that wants what's best, that wants to move forward victoriously, is winning. And you have to continue on that road. That's the only way that you're going to be able to have full victory. Heed the advice from Baba Yaga when it comes to your work, when it comes to all these other areas. They will help you and aid you in this process of transformation. All right. Now let's go ahead and try and get some more advice from Spirit. We're gonna go ahead and try and get some understanding, right, of the future through the oracles and what advice we have in order to avoid this, right? To not go down this pitfall. What is it that Spirit wants to tell you right now? Spirit, help us out here. All right, we've got Archangel Raquel, and Archangel Raquel is here to tell you to enter higher planetary service. Be a blazing light. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. This is the Chariot showing up again, okay? This is the Chariot showing up in the form of Archangel Raquel, here to tell you to, hey, go ahead and shine your light vast and wide. There's projects, there's ambitions right now that you want to do. There are things that you wish that you can do, places that you want to travel to, experiences that you want to live through. Go ahead and do it. Do not hold back. That's what Archangel Raquel is here to tell you, right? Sent from Spirit. My goodness. So a very strong energy, very strong presence showing up here, telling you to move forward. Don't feel like you are in some ways being held back. Don't give in to this energy right here, right, of the Eight of Swords. Archangel Raquel wants you to enter higher planetary service. And so that word right there, service, it's very interesting. What kind of service, right? Like, what exactly is it that Spirit wants you to be in service to? Is it the service to the earth, to the planet? What kind of service? Let's go ahead and take a look. We're going to throw a card from the Angel Quest Oracle, and we're going to ask that question. What kind of service exactly is it that we are talking about? Family harmony. Oh, wow. Okay, this is interesting. So here we go. The message, the final message from Spirit is family harmony. Your guardian angel is urging you to maintain loving, positive relationships with those close to you. My oh my. Sometimes that can be very difficult to do, but this is very important for your development. It's very important for your future at this moment in time. So now we know Spirit wants you to be of service to the people around you, to your family members. That's very important. For some of you, that message might be difficult, right? Because I do feel like when you were younger, you didn't have that structure, that stability. Maybe for some of you, and again, take what resonates, leave the rest, but for some of you, you're having trouble moving forward from that, right? Forgiving. And in some ways, it's still a part of you. And the only way for you to get rid of that Eight of Fire reversed and give into the full energy of the Chariot for full victory and harmony is to have harmony within yourself, harmony within your family. Forgive, move forward as best as you can. That's the only way that you're going to be able to fully have the victory that you crave. Enter higher planetary service. Be a blazing light. My. So that is what I see here, group number 1. I want to thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. For those that haven't subscribed, this is the Pick a Card channel, so subscribe so you don't miss out on any uploads. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the comments, the donations. I am offering private readings at this time. If you are interested, I am going to include the link in the description below. Thank you to all of you once again for just everything. You seekers are truly great. Thank you for your love and your words of support, and I hope you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you are. Bye-bye. Welcome, group number 2. So you picked Mary Magdalene. She is a representative of the divine feminine, the sacred or actual sacred spirituality and devotion. Those are the key words on the card. Mary Magdalene, there's a lot of controversy with her, right? As a symbol of the divine feminine rising in our modern times, she is considered in some ways the patron saint of penitent sinners, sex workers, sexual temptation, women, hairdressers. The jury is still out very much on exactly who Mary Magdalene was in her human life. Most will agree that maybe she was a disciple of Jesus. Many disagree about her background. Was she a prostitute filled with demons or a priestess of Isis? Was she maybe simply a beloved apostle? Or was she even Jesus' lover, wife, mother to his child? This mystery is part of the magic that she offers us, that she's offering you. One thing for certain is that Mary Magdalene will be whoever she needs to be for you. Her message to you today is to embody and embrace your divine feminine power, surrender to the mystery of the divine and the magic of life, and follow the wisdom of your own heart above all else. So this is Spirit speaking through Magdalene's devotion, right? The fact that you picked her tells me that there is a wisdom, that there is an embrace, and in matters of love. Well, let's transition to love, because I did promise you that we were going to talk about these different areas. So when it comes to love and relationships, the message that this card has for you is to show love and devotion to those that you are in a relationship with. Okay? Explore sacred sexuality in your romantic relationship. So that's the advice that Mary Magdalene has. Now, when it comes to your work, you're being told by Spirit through Magdalene to teach what you know and look for ways to be of deeper service to those you work with and for. Remember that all work is divine work. When it comes to your home life, see housework as a spiritual practice, an act of devotion for your home. When it comes to money, focus on being of service, following your callings and divine guidance, and you will always be provided for. When it comes to your well-being, you're being asked to be of service to yourself and be devoted to your own needs. Work with beauty rituals, long baths and essential oils. When it comes to spirituality, explore devotional spiritual practices such as prayer, lighting candles, and ritual baths. These things are going to help. All right, so now that we have an understanding of the actual meaning of this beautiful Mary Magdalene, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to zoom out, number one. Zoom out, zoom out, zoom out. We're going to throw some tarot, and we're going to try and see exactly what the cards want us to know when it comes to your past, when it comes to your present, when it comes to your future. What is the message here, right? What is the message here? So we're going to go ahead and shuffle. And we're going to try and figure that out right now. Let's take a look. All right, so in the past, we have Ace of Fire reversed, Four of Swords reversed. Okay. All right. In the present, the Seven of Earth, upright. Okay, we've got the Empress reversed. All right, now in a future setting, Queen of Air reversed. And we've got the Page of Air upright. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Very interesting reading so far. Very interesting. We have so much to really talk about here. Let me just go ahead and sit with this energy for just a bit and try and take it all in, because my, oh my. All right. All right, all right. So let's start with the past. In the past, we've got two cards that paint a picture of struggle. Okay, there's some struggle. And I feel like this was in your possibly younger years and maybe your preteen years, because we have here, the first card out, the little girl, right? The Ace of Fire. And we have here opportunities, creativity, and action. And then we have it reversed. And so what we have is a card that's devoid of those key words, right? You did not have a lot of opportunities in the past. When it came to creativity, maybe you didn't have the support, right? Or someone to say, hey, those are some very nice creative talents you have. So they weren't nurtured enough. And so what it led to was inaction as opposed to action, right? You didn't take action in this creative endeavor. And so, we have here a young child that unfortunately just wasn't, possibly given the attention that they so needed in order to grow in some area, in some capacity. And so, we have here an understanding of what that might have done of where that might have taken you, right? The Four of Air showing up reversed. We have the keywords here: meditation, recuperation, contemplation. The fact that we have this card reversed tells me that you didn't have a lot of, I would say, mental tranquility, right? The Four of Air, which is the Four of Swords. This is the card of being in a restful place. This is a card where you're able to put your swords down. There's no fighting. There's no words that need to be shared at this time. All there is relaxation and contemplation of what might come. The fact that it's reversed tells me that at a very early age, and even into your preteen years, there was a lot of anxiety that you had to overcome. That was a part of your life. And so this anxiety really led you to, I think, a place where you just weren't at peace, right? You weren't at peace, and we already know that you have a lot of creative talent that was not expressed, that, unfortunately just you weren't given enough, right, as a child. And that just turned into kind of an anxiety that built up in your teen years. And now presently, you have got the Seven of Earth and the Empress, but the Empress is reversed. And so, these are two very interesting cards, because number one, I'm seeing that you're working hard and very diligently for what you have, right? The Seven of Earth is the card of the worker. This is the person that makes good investments, right? We've got investments, assessments, and patience showing up here as the key words. So, we definitely have someone who, with the Seven of Pentacles or Seven of Earth, we have someone who shows up to work and gets the job done. Okay, now this is someone that invests their energy wisely. There's the sense of stability in some areas. So, and that's great, right? But it's overshadowed by the Empress, right? And so the Empress is very important because this is a major arcana showing up here. Whenever a major arcana shows up, what we have is a major kind of life event happening, or some kind of understanding of who you are, your character, your traits, your personality, that will in some ways either help you with your progress or keep you in the same place, or unfortunately lead to some kind of demise. And so we need to really pay attention to whenever we get a major arcana. And the fact that you've got this Empress showing up reversed in a present position tells me that your creative talents, since they were not, I would say, since they weren't acknowledged or they weren't celebrated when you were a young child, you're having trouble tapping into those creative talents right now, currently, right? So, we have the Empress showing up, the keyword creation, abundance, and action, right? And we know that in the past, right, we've got the same thing showing up, right? Reverse. This was when you were younger, when you were a child, opportunity, creativity, and action. So creating and action. Reverse. And now we've got the Empress showing up here, which is an illustration of you right now currently, right? Unfortunately still struggling with that action and lack of creativity. And so, the fact that we've got this Empress, in the past we just had one of the minor suits, right? Ace of Fire. So the fact that now it's turned into the Empress tells us that it's crucial for you to start working in these areas, your creative talents, because it's important for you to create what you are destined to create. I feel like since these creative talents weren't celebrated enough when you were younger, or you didn't have the opportunity to express it, you didn't develop that area of your life. And so now that you are in some ways older, right now presently, it's turned into a bit of a problem, right? You can't access your creative talents, your creative flow. And I think that you are a creator. You are here to create something. And the way that you're able to fully balance your life and to fully be, I think, in some ways, to fully be present and to fully have mental clarity, you need to be able to create. And so this is a muscle, right, that it's important that you start exercising. And it's important for you because here's the thing. You are someone who's diligent, right? You're careful, you're a hard worker. We see that with the 7 of Earth showing up here. But at the same time, there's more that needs to be done. And the only reason why you haven't tapped into that creative talent, into that abundance, is because you didn't have it as a child. So now it's very difficult for you to tap into that. So, we are going to throw some oracle cards to try and get a little advice into how you can overcome this for a better future. Because it is very essential. And the reason why it's essential is because in the future, what we have is 2 cards that tell me that there is going to be some kind of lackluster energy, not really going anywhere, just kind of feeling stuck. Okay, and that's not where you are destined to go. Okay, so Spirit is kind of showing up in this reading to tell you, hey, you're in a very important, critical moment in your life right now. And so from this point, if you are not able to address it correctly, it is going to shape your future in a certain kind of way that you might not like. All right? And so it's important for you to start making some changes, some incremental changes. Keep in mind the advice of Mary Magdalene and everything that she was essentially telling you to do right at the very beginning. Integrate that into your here and now. A lot of good advice there for you. But, if you continue on this path where you're just not tapping into those creative juices, that creative talent of yours, right? Which, again, it's something truly magnificent. If you're not tapping into it, then it's going to lead you to the Queen of Air reversed. This is the Rider. Okay, this is the Rider. Anytime I get the Queen of Air, which is the Queen of Swords, what we have here is a creator. She is in charge of creating. And so this is for writers. This is for people who are maybe, in some capacity, problem solvers. These are people that nurture creative work and talent and art and, even overseers of art and talent. And, there's a sense of upholding society through that creative process. And so it starts with you being able to fully, uphold your own creative juices and your own creative talents in order to get to that place. But I feel that, with the Queen of Swords reversed, what we have here is someone who has completely and utterly turned themselves off to creating anything, right? You're going to, it's almost like you're going to just cement it, right? If you don't stretch that creative talent, if you don't stretch it, if you don't work on it, it's going to just harden, and then you're not going to be able to fully tap into it. And in some ways, you're going to feel like something's missing, right? This isn't the end all be all. We do have the Page of Air showing up here upright. Now, what we have, and again, I feel like these cards are just an aspect of you and what you're going to go through. We have here the Page of Air talking about truthfulness, analytical, and being outspoken. And so when we put that together with someone who is going through an energy of the Queen of Air reverse, which is just feeling mentally almost unstable or feeling like something's missing, not being able to fully tap into some kind of talent, and that mixed with being outspoken, analytical, and truthful, we have someone that might be a bit bitter, might use words to harm others, might use words to bring other people down. Whenever you see other people that are showing creative talents and you're just going to say that's crazy, that's dumb, you shouldn't invest time in that, that's, so you're just going to you're going to become a person that's going to talk other people down, right? You're going to, in some ways, bring that, you're going to bring to the forefront that there are challenges in that area. And it's because, you're just kind of projecting your anger, your distraughtfulness for not being able to fully have that energy yourself. And so, it's important to start working on those creative talents and have that muscle stretched out to its fullest. Now, we're going to go ahead and throw some oracles to see exactly what Spirit would like for you to do now. Maybe there's some advice that the oracles can give us. So we're going to start with the, I forget the name of this deck. I think it's the Archangel Oracle cards. Yes. Let's see. Spirit, give us a little more advice on what to do right now for group number 2. Wow, you got Archangel Raquel. It's interesting. This Archangel showed up in the exact same position for group number 1. So if you were drawn to group number 1, there's a message there for you as well. And it's funny because group number 1 had the exact same past. Okay, so if you were drawn to group number 1, make sure that you're watching that as well. But with Archangel Raquel, you're being told to enter higher planetary service, be a blazing light. And so I almost feel like what this card is telling you is that, hey, okay, so you're asking, why is this even important? Why do I need to even work on my creative talents? Why do I need to stretch that muscle? And so Spirit is now telling you, because there's an entire world out there that you have no idea exists. There's an entire universe that you're going to be able to unlock if only you're able to fully unlock your creative talents. And so, it's important for you to start creating. It's important for you to start working on this because, it's not about what you're going to create and if people are going to like it and how it's going to be received. It's about the process of creation that really unlocks something within us. You're able to see clearer. You're able to understand more. You're able to have better ideas in your current work and in other things, right? So it's not just about what you're creating and if people like it. It's about the creative process itself. Okay, it's about finding an aspect of you that wasn't nurtured, wasn't there, unlocking it and seeing where that creative talent, where that energy leads you, right? Does it expand? Does it take me somewhere else? Is it the energy that lifts all boats, right, in your life? And so the only way to find out is for you to actually go there. Now, let's go ahead and see Angel Quest Oracle. What exactly, right? What is it that group number 2 maybe should focus on right now when it comes to their creative talents? What exactly do we mean by this? Spirit. Wisdom. Okay, wow. Okay, I like this card. This is your final message, group number 2, and it is a very powerful one. Wisdom, the angel of wisdom is granting you insight from the higher realms. And so what this means is that you don't have to do anything right now, but you have to act on certain things. So, it's impossible to walk through life without having some kind of guidance or inkling to do something, right? Sometimes we feel like intuitively, I like that. I don't know why I like that. I wish I can do that, but something, and then we just forget about it, right? It's like, I wish I can do that, but then you forget about it because a little voice tells you can't, don't even go there. Or maybe it's not even a little voice, it's just a normal reaction. Don't even go there. It's nice to admire, but don't even go there. So, think of someone who potentially, reads a nonfiction book, right? And they're so enthralled by the book or the story, and they want to write their own story, but they say, oh, that's too much work. I wouldn't be able to rise to that level, so why even try? They don't even say those words to themselves. They just believe it because it's a part of their core belief system. So they just, they just move on, right? They don't even explore that thought of, hey, I can probably write the same kind of book or a different kind of book. I have this story in my head that I've been thinking about for so long, but, maybe it'll work out. I'm going to start tomorrow, right? Some people don't even go there. They just simply accept the fact that they're not going to rise up to that level. And they do it without even realizing, right? And so the next time you feel an inkling to do something creative, all right, whether it be just draw, whether it be buying a coloring book, right? Start small, right? And whether it be just working, like you're journaling and you feel like doing some kind of beautiful artistic work that you want to add to your journal, make sure that you follow that energy, right? Make sure that you're going there. Make sure that, it's like starting a new workout routine. It's going to hurt at the beginning. You're not going to have any kind of direction. You might need some guidance. And when you find that guidance, all you have to do is just kind of keep that program going. But what Spirit is telling you is that, hey, I'm going to be sending you information from higher realms to help you in this area. All right, so that you can work on these creative talents, because there's something in you that will be birthed, that will be brought forth, that's going to inspire, that's going to uplift, that's going to motivate, and ultimately that's what's going to essentially happen with you, right? It's all about you right now. It's all about what you have inside of you. And the worst thing that you want to do is to, continue on the path that you're on, not stretching that creative muscle, and then ending like the Queen of Air reverse, which is a bitter woman, bitter person, and unfortunately using what you think is the truth to harm others. So you don't want to get there, right? You don't want to get to that point. That's a very bitter kind of reality. And I feel like that might be what will happen if you don't work on your creative talents, give in to that process of creation and art and beauty that is all around us. All right? So that is what I see here. I want to thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. This is a channel dedicated to pick a card readings and some other things that I'm pretty sure you'll like as well. Tarot deck reviews, oracle deck reviews. Don't forget to leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about this reading. Also, I am offering private readings at this time. If you are interested, I'm going to include the link in the description below to my Etsy store. Thank you guys so much for your support, your donations, your love. You guys are truly great. And I hope you all have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are. Bye-bye. Welcome, group number 3, to today's Pick a Card Tarot reading. So, you picked Archangel Azrael. This is the angel of death and rebirth, life changes, transition. So, there's a sense of something new coming for you, okay? There's an understanding here from Spirit that you are moving to something new, and the message is that you are journeying from one chapter into another. Let go of the old and prepare to step into the new. One door is closing and another door is opening. So step through it, says Spirit to you through Archangel Azrael. And so, this archangel's name means the angel of death. While this is a powerful guide and comforter in times of grief and loss, this archangel turns up during physical death and also supports you during the times of changes, life transitions, and, during difficult periods between one thing ending and the next not yet beginning. So, Archangel Azrael can offer you comfort, strength at the completion of a cycle, during big shifts and transitions. He is also a very powerful ally when working with mediumships and calling on your loved ones in spirit. Now, I did say that we were going to go ahead and try and get a distinct message when it came to love, relationships, work, money. So let's go through each area. Archangel Azrael, when it comes to love and relationships, you're being told to take time to grieve for those you have lost through death, divorce, breakup, falling out, or simply growing apart. Let go and release relationships and people that you are no longer in need of, or that are no longer right for you in your life at this time. All right, so very, very important message there, right? When it comes to relationship and love, when it comes to work, something needs to change, right? This is the angel of death and rebirth. So when it comes to work, something needs to change. It may be time to change jobs or to change the energy around your current work situation. When it comes to the home, let go of old things you no longer need that are weighing you down. When it comes to money, you have the power to create new money, okay? A new money story for yourself. Let go of old patterns and habits and start to form new ones that will support you financially. Now, when it comes to your well-being, make sure that you declutter in all areas of your life. Let go of things, people, thoughts, and beliefs that no longer serve you. When it comes to your spirituality, make sure that you connect, right? You're connecting right now with your past over loved ones in spirit. ask them to show up in your dreams through signs, and that way you can in some ways gain some kind of clarity or understanding of what is being required of you right now. So a very powerful message from Archangel Azrael. We're going to go ahead and zoom out, and we're going to throw some tarot, okay? We're going to throw some tarot, and we're going to try and gain a further understanding of essentially the past, the present, the future. All right, so let's go ahead and shuffle. Shuffle. Just allow me a quick moment. Okay. And now we are going to start with the past. And we're going to use the angel messages. I like these cards. Let's see. So in the past, what happened in the past? All right. What is going on in the present, Spirit? What's going on in the present? Okay. All right. And then what is to come in a future setting? Okay. All right. Okay. So we definitely have a story to tell here. My goodness. I'm just taking a moment here to connect with the cards. Just taking a moment. Just allow me a quick second here. All right, so let's start with the past. So in the past, we start with the energy of the Knight of Earth, right? And this Knight of Earth is organized, responsible, supportive, right? So this is a representation of you. This is who you were in a past setting. Obviously, this is still a part of you now, but in the past, this is what was expected of you, I feel. And who you were at your core, someone who would just, work diligently, was there, very supportive, and in many ways just a part of the experience of life, right? And you were there for family, for friends. I feel like you are someone who holds on to these people. And you just feel like there's a lot of things that you're responsible for. I feel like maybe you put a lot of pressure on yourself in the past. We see that with the number 15 card, Temperance, which here it's ego. Okay, very interesting card. Here's ego, illusions, dependency, and materialism. So this is interesting, very interesting concept and illustration. I feel like when we look at this card, when we see that it's reversed, it tells me that in the past there was a lot of things that you believed about yourself that just weren't true. There was also a sense of dependency on other people and situations and things that potentially hindered you to some extent, right? And now I think you might be in some ways letting go of that. But anyways, let's focus on the past. I keep focusing on now. We'll talk about that later. But with this ego card, which number 15 is actually the devil, what we have is ensnarements, okay? Ensnarements, potentially, there was this unhealthy balance in your life. It's, I made a mistake. It's the card number 15 is the devil. Card number 14 is Temperance. So you've got essentially the devil showing up reversed. Here is the ego. And I feel like you were just like that caged bird, right? You were ensnared by something, right? Even though the cage is open, you could have flown free. You didn't. You just kind of stayed behind. And this is where I get the putting too much on your shoulders, being a part of maybe a family that was very demanding. Or you just simply were just hard on yourself. You were demanding on yourself. You yourself wanted to accomplish something. And you weren't going to stop until you did it. Now, let's move on to right now. And right now we have two people showing up. We've got the Knight of Water and we've got the Queen of Fire. And so there's a lot of messages here to consider, right? The Knight of Water could be talking about a partner, someone in your life, a romantic partner. There's a sense of maybe some drama with this person, and the fact that we've got the Archangel Azrael showing up as a force of change. Maybe this is the change that you need to let go, right? Maybe this is what you need to in some ways put aside, because this energy right here, it might be a bit crippling for you, right? So in some ways, there's this need for expansion in some area, but it's not coming, it's not happening. And we see that with the Queen of Fire, okay? Queen of Fire showing up reverse. Here we have the keywords intelligent, exuberant, and determined, all keywords that truly represent the essence of the Queen of Fire, which is the Queen of Wands. The fact that she's showing up here reversed, just tells us that maybe potentially you're in a place where all of your decisions, all of your thoughts, all of your patterns and how you're interacting with the world aren't as ideal as you would like for it to be, right? You expect a certain outcome and you're not getting it. And I feel that maybe potentially you are in pursuit of some romance. You're really focused on this romantic venture here, but you're losing sight of your own progress. I think that you are in some ways sacrificing this romance, this present, right, for this kind of potential future. And so, I feel like it's important for you to just let go, right? Let go of whatever this is right here, whatever this ideal world that you are looking for. Put it aside. There's no need for it right now. Focus on your own progress, your own career progress, your own changes. I feel like there's, when we go back to the message of the Archangel Azrael, we saw an archangel that wanted you to change your job, try something new in your job. When it came to relationships, maybe potentially let go of someone, allow maybe someone that you've been neglecting in, focusing on finding maybe potentially a group or a following that's actually going to be there for you. There's a lot of changes, right, that you're being asked to take, that you're being asked to bring on. The fact that hasn't happened might be an indication that you're holding back something, or maybe you're holding yourself back to some degree. And if you keep doing this, you're going to, in a future setting, have the Four of Air and the Five of Fire, and they're both reversed. Okay, so this reading is very much a bit of a warning, right? For you to avoid this. Spirit wants to come in at this time so that you can avoid whatever this is right here. Okay, and so what we have with the Four of Air, if you're not able to focus on yourself right now, if you're not able to potentially accept that there's a change and there's a transition taking place in your life, you might essentially go through a period of just, unfortunately, some kind of mental anxiety. Right? So we have here the Four of Air. This is the person that is contemplating. But the Four of Air, the Four of Swords, the actual illustration in the Rider-Waite is of a person who's just put down their swords. There's no need to fight. There's no need to overthink. They're just relaxing. They're having a good time. They're just kind of enjoying their experience. They're enjoying life. When this card shows up reversed, and it feels like the world has been kind of flipped upside down, there's mental challenges. It's all in the mind, but it kind of just turns into anxiety, right, for what's going on right now. And also you kind of get scared of the future. You don't want for tomorrow to come because things are getting so bad that you just want things to just stop changing, right? So there's a little bit of that. And then when we look at the Five of Fire here, we have conflict, we have annoyances, we have competition. The fact that it's reversed tells me that potentially these things will come to an end, but there are certain things that are going to be a part of your life, right? If you aren't able to fully embrace the energy of the Queen of Fire is very intelligent in the things that she does. She's exuberant, she's determined to succeed, right? She doesn't want to stop, right? But the fact that she's showing up reversed tells me that you are in some ways holding back the Queen of Wands for right now. Maybe you are putting too much energy on this ideal world, ideal emotional situation. Maybe you're with the wrong person, even though, they're not showing up here as the wrong person, this Knight of Water is. But at the same time, they are showing up, and what we have is, unfortunately, the end result here is someone who is just not acting in accordance with what needs to happen right now for that change to come. There's complacency. And I think that, you might be caught in this kind of loop right here, this kind of romantic, emotional, dramatic loop. And if you're stuck there for too long, unfortunately, these things will come. So conflict, annoyances, competition, showing up reverse. So, this is a temporary thing. This isn't something that you need to worry too much about. But in some capacity, you do, right? Because it's going to impact your mental state. It's going to bring anxiety. And you don't want that. You want to live a comfortable life. You want to live a life that's filled with so much excitement and joy. So accepting the changes that need to come right now, by essentially letting go of what you need to let go of and accepting what you need to accept is key right now. Okay, now we're going to throw some oracle cards just to get a deeper understanding of exactly what these changes are, what the advice is from Spirit to you at this time. So we're going to use the Archangel Oracle. Let's take a look here. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. And here we are. So Archangel Aurora. Look at that. Look at that. My goodness. Archangel Aurora says, welcome new beginnings. Let the sun shine in your life. All right. Welcome new beginnings. Let the sun shine in your life. And so, my goodness, this is a very beautiful card, a very exciting card to get, okay? Number one, it acknowledges the change that Archangel Azrael was essentially talking about. And it adds even more to it. It's telling you that, hey, this change is what is going to bring you happiness and joy. So anytime we have the sun showing up in any capacity, what we have is the ultimate form of happiness, right? What we have is the ultimate form of just satisfaction. There's nothing wrong. And whenever the sun is present, what we have is an understanding that life is meant to be lived. And so it's time to start living, right? So, you might have to do certain things, let go of certain things, but that's only temporary. That's transitory. The important thing is that you will be able to enjoy the happiness and the joy and the zeal that comes with these new changes. And that should be the focus here, whatever this change is. Now let's go ahead and see if we can get a deeper understanding of these changes and what exactly the message of Spirit is. We're going to use the Angel Quest Oracle to give us a little more insight into this. Let's see. Divine Perception is your final card. Wow, the angels are directing you to perceive the situation from a higher state of consciousness. Okay, so, a lot of people watching this are probably a little confused, okay, and that makes perfect sense. And so that's why this card is showing up. It's going to require a lot for you to understand exactly what's going on here, what needs to change, how that needs to change, and so there's an understanding from Spirit that, hey, you might not have all of the pieces, right? You might not have all of the different keys for you to be able to unlock those doors right now. Those keys will present themselves to you very soon. When you have the key, make sure to use it, unlock the door, and walk through it. Don't become a person that's inactive in any kind of way. We already saw the Queen of Fire showing up reversed. That's the card of inactivity. Don't become inactive. Make sure that you're acting on every opportunity that you see moving forward, because those opportunities are going to provide you with more opportunities. And so, This is definitely going to require some time, some energy, some understanding, some different things that are going to happen to you. Just make sure that when you are acting in the world, that when you are actually trying to get things done, you do it decisively, right? There's no lacklusterness for it. There's no I need to think about this, and just put it aside and you ignore it and you continue in that kind of same non-active state. Act intelligently, act exuberantly, and act determined in everything that you intuitively feel. And I feel that, we have this divine perception. We have the angel showing up, directing you, right? We have Archangel Azrael saying, I am here to help you in this transition. I am here to assist you. And so there's a sense of a soft landing, a cushioning right beneath you so that you can essentially land comfortably. And once you're able to fully understand what needs to change, and I feel that this is going to come to you very soon, this is the seed that Spirit has planted in you. You know that some change is coming. You know that some change is necessary. I think that it might even be impossible to know exactly what that is, because that change is going to be very different for many different people. Obviously, this is a general reading, so it is very difficult. Maybe a lot of people pick this group, but in order to actually truly understand what needs to change, you have to try and pick up on the signs around you. If there's an area that you feel right now that you can make a change in, start there. But understand that that might not be where you stop, right? That might just be the beginning of something that needs to happen. So that is what I see here, group number 3. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought you insight. I want to thank you so much for watching. Also, another thing that I want to talk to you about, I am offering private readings, so if you're interested, I'm going to leave the link in the description below. It is to my Etsy store. Also, thank you for subscribing. For those that haven't, consider subscribing. This is a pick a card channel. Thank you also for the likes. Thank you for the comments. I want to communicate with you seekers, so make sure that you are leaving comments. If you have any ideas for any future readings, leave them in the comments section and I'll make sure to consider them. So thank you so much, and bye-bye.